Hey, it's Marlon Smith here. So excited to have you here. BCG, what? BCG, what? Look, you can tell I'm excited. It is September 1st. Yesterday was my birthday. Yes, got to say that. It's a plug. Happy birthday, Marlon. Another year. I'm grateful. I'm excited. And so with that being shared, listen, tonight is the night. And I'm so excited because the young lady that we're going to be bringing up, oh my goodness, she's phenomenal. Adrian is her name, and you're going to learn more about her because we're talking about credit. And Adrian has such a phenomenal story because isn't it true? Your misery can become your ministry, right? Your misery can become your ministry. Type in the chat box, where are you watching from, first of all? Because I know we got people here. I need to know, where are you watching from? Because I'm excited. Woo! It's September, y'all. Come on now. Type in the chat box where you're watching from because, again, we are in the right place at the right time. So we're going to be talking about credit. Can we be honest? Listen, I went to college, and, my friends, they would go to the stores with their credit cards. And all of a sudden, I started getting credit card applications. I don't know about you, but nobody told me, you get these credit cards. I was like, oh, it's free money. What? Okay. And then next thing you know, boom, I'm spending and whatnot and had no idea you had to pay it back by a certain time. Can we raise our hands? Can we be real tonight? So I just want to know who else can relate to me. Anybody got another credit, a credit horror story, right? Because I'm telling you, it's real. So hey, Michelle's here from Charlotte. We got Daryl from Daytona Beach. We got Sylvia from San Diego. Come on, Sylvia, are you here? Kimmo from New Jersey is in the house. So glad that y'all are here because I'm telling you, tonight is going to be phenomenal. You might want to call your aunt, your uncle, call grandma, say, Grandma, you need to improve that credit score. And we got the person tonight who's going to do that. And so with that being shared, I'm going to bring up my colleague who's really phenomenal. And this man is a living legend, right? I used to say I'm the best singer in the shower. Okay, y'all just don't know. I can blow in the shower. Well, this man, financial services, 23 years of success, experience, wisdom, and it's really wonderful. And I'm so grateful to be able to call him my brother because he's a man on a mission, man of integrity, a man who's really, really making a difference. And you're going to see the connection between our special guests. And so we got Sharon. Sharon, you're from Ohio. I don't know if you know, but my brother, Tony, is from Michigan. And I know there's that Michigan-Ohio rivalry, Ohio State and University of Michigan. So I hope, I hope, oh my good. And look, Dormitia is also from Ohio. We outnumbered Tony tonight. All right. I hope some of your Michigan families come and join us. So this is BCG. We're talking about credit. So let's bring Tony up on the screen. Nashville in the house. What's up, Tony?
Hey, BCG.
That's right.
What's going on?
Man,
I'm excited about tonight. Hey, listen, I see some names. Renee. I saw Renee's name on my calendar. I can't wait to meet and talk with her. Man, people from all over. You got Ohio. We got North Carolina. Man, it's going to be a phenomenal night, man.
Sharon said, laugh out loud. See, I knew I created some. Tony's wearing his University of Michigan blue. Okay. I'm just saying, Sharon. I mean, see who he really is. Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, okay. But Demetria said, but I'm from DMV. Hey, I'm from Maryland.
Don't put this label on me. I'm really from the DMV, man. Man, let me tell you, man. And my credit story, right? Credit story, like, you talk about when you go to college, and man, I went to college, academic scholarship. I stepped in campus, right? In the summer, man, I started in the summer, right? Wow. Because I want to get a jump. This is my mind. I want to get a jump on the rest of the freshmen. So I started in the summer. Okay. So I stepped into the student union, and there they were giving out credit cards.
Okay.
I got me a Sears and Roebuck credit card, right? So listen, I go to Sears. I'm a freshman. I'm in the dorm, right?
Right.
They gave me credit. I go to Sears and I pick out a 300-watt stereo system for the little bit dorm room.
Right.
I charged it. Man, I could rock the whole dorm, right? I could rock the whole dorm. Man,
Right.
it was 3 years after I graduated before I had that thing paid off. What?
Come on, man. Come on.
Get us, man. And we get all these offers in the mail about credit and all this stuff. And we got to know what we're doing. We got to know what we're doing, man. And so that's why it's really phenomenal what we're going to do tonight. Is talking about credit.
Hey, look, Michelle said, here's the devil. I could never pay them off.
Man, she felt my pain. She
right.
Oh, man. No, listen, we got Alabama in the house. How about that? What part of Alabama? Let us know where you're at in Alabama.
Yeah, so, no doubt. But also, look, Demetria, I'm with you, Jimmy. I just talked to a friend last night, and I said, the Washington Redskins, I heard they're going to rename their team name. And Demetria just said, Washington football team. They have not come up with a new team name yet. I'm like, that is crazy. Huh?
They haven't come up with a name yet?
No. The Washington football team. I mean, that's wild. That's wild.
Okay, man. That's okay.
Yeah. But man, I'm excited. We got a packed house, man.
Football starts this week. Football starts, I think someone told me Thursday. Football starts like on Thursday.
Wow.
Or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So are they having people go to the stands? I mean, I know we're getting off subject.
I know some people, they said some stands will have, some stadiums will have fans in them, some stadiums won't. Wow. So, oh, man, look at that. He said, roll tide. Oh, my goodness, Alabama. Well, if you got like this horror story about credit or something, well, one of the things I want to do is tonight, man, let's do this, Marlon.
Okay.
Let's ask everyone. We won't give the answer. Adrian will give the answer later.
Sure.
What would you consider a good credit score?
What
would you consider a good credit score?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What would you consider a good credit score? So then we know some of you guys, we know it ain't your fault that your credit is messed up because, your mama put your table in your name when you were 5 and all that. But, that's all right. We can get that fixed for you tonight. So here, Michelle said 800. Sharon said 800. That's a good score. I can't argue with that. Anybody else got? What's a good score? COVID-19 headquarters right now. Oh, wow.
That's deep.
We had a couple people said 800 is a good score.
Okay. 750.
Okay, there we go. 750 and up. We got FICO. Ebony says 750. James said 700. Shamika said 750. Marie said 700 plus. Man, That's good. Now we asked the question, Marlon.
Right.
We asked the question was, what is a good credit score? What we didn't ask is, what is your credit score? That's a whole other story, right?
That's a whole other story.
Credit score is, but that might not be our score.
Correct.
And so we're going to help you get that fixed tonight. We're going to educate you on how to get your credit score to where you want to be. Hey, Yolanda said my credit score is 825. Thank you.
Yeah, she wrote it down, Jack. Okay.
Right? Proudly. Like, you want to be part of that. So we're gonna take you through. Adrian has got a phenomenal presentation, and actually I've heard so much about it. It's a phenomenal presentation. She's gonna give it to us. She's gonna teach us a whole lot about credit and that type of thing, because that's what we're talking about today. What is your credit profile? Now let me ask the other question I want to ask is this: what things does your credit score affect? Okay. So there's certain things that having a good credit score, it helps you. It may hurt you if you don't have a good credit score. Name some of those things that that credit score has an impact on. And I'll throw one out there, for example, car insurance. Car insurance. Your credit score has an impact on how much you pay for car insurance.
Sure.
And that hasn't always been the case. That happened, about 10, 15 years ago. But there are a lot of different things that having a good credit score or bad credit score can have an impact on. So what are some of the things, people, that you think, interest rate, the interest rate that you get on a loan, right? How much you may pay for a car. What else? What are some other things that your credit score? Buying houses, buying cars, Great. Look at that. Job, life insurance. Both of those are very true. Both of those are very true. You know, when you're going to get a job, they look at your credit score. We got purchasing power, loan rates, employment. Oh, Maria put it in. She said your livelihood. Listen, that is a great answer because it's so encompassing. Shelly says getting an apartment. That's another one. Yeah. Those are good answers. Loan interest rates. Wow. Some phenomenal answers.
Yeah.
I think this group is ready, man.
Yeah, they are. And so, you know, I think that, you know, you understand the power of tonight's program. And I want to encourage you to go ahead and get a notebook, get your pen. The young lady that, you know, we'll have Tony introduce, you know, I can tell you she is really on purpose. You know, one of the things I really believe is you do what you do the best and you connect with others to do the rest. Let them walk in their purpose. I mean, that's really the key to success. We can't do it all. And so, you know, just on a personal note, this young lady, I said, look, you know, you are very skilled, you're very passionate. And not only that, you have the wisdom. And I said, you know what, there's always room for improvement. And so I would love to go ahead and even contract with you to, you know, let's take my credit score to the next level. All right. Because all of those things that everyone just listed, it's real. And so I can just tell you, I am a client of the young lady who we're bringing up. And to me, you know, that speaks volumes because I don't endorse just somebody just because, you know, I endorse people because I know they bring the value. And so I want you to know, get your notepad and your pen, because again, what she's going to share tonight is going to be phenomenal. And that's what you want. You want somebody who is willing to share the information with you. And I was just, you know, had a consulting, what would you say, a consulting coaching session with her. And man, her wisdom, I mean, I was just like, wow, you know, and she's half my age, right? I mean, but it doesn't matter because what matters is the information that you have. So I'm very excited, you know, and Tony, I'd like for you to go ahead and introduce our special guest.
Man, how am I supposed to introduce our special guest tonight, man, when it's just one of my favorite people in the world? Listen, you're about to hear from an entrepreneur, the TRMC credit repair specialist, credit hero. I'm going to introduce you to our guest tonight, my baby girl, Adrienne Jackson.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello. Listen. Credit hero. Come on now. Watch
Credit
out.
hero.
Hey, and you know, Cameron, our little boy, he loves a hero. So, you know, he loves heroes. And so we got a credit hero tonight. So, Adrienne, I want you just to share a little bit about your story. You know, we've seen you worked with me, you're working with Marlon. We've seen you do phenomenal things with your own credit. And so just kind of share us a little bit about your story. And then we're going to turn you loose, let you do your presentation, and then we'll come back at the end and maybe field some more questions, and maybe we'll interject along the way. But why don't you tell a little bit about your story?
So my credit journey started when I was in college, and so my car ended up breaking down, and I needed a new car. And so, you know, I'm car searching and everything. And I decided to go to a dealership, and I walked in the door, you know, I applied. I'm like, you know, I'm about to walk off the lot with a brand new car. And so I'm sitting there, I filled out the paperwork. They ran my credit and they said, yeah, you're not approved. And I said, what? So they told me I wasn't approved, and I did not know why I wasn't approved because I mean, my credit wasn't bad. There was really nothing on my credit. So why wouldn't I get approved? And so they basically, you know, went on to tell me that sometimes like having no credit is worse than bad credit. And so, you know, like that was discouraging for me because I needed a car and I really, really wanted to walk off the lot with a car. So I decided to, you know, go get a credit card and start learning a little bit about credit. So I got a secure credit card and started, you know, like gaining credit and just making sure I was making my payments on time. And so I had that card for about 6 months. And then I ended up going back to that car dealership, the same car dealership a year later. and I applied for a car again. And so then that time when I walked through the door, they were like, you know, your credit score is higher than the average credit score that walks through the door. And I was like, wow, really? And so that was like exciting because that same dealership a year ago told me, yeah, you're not approved. And so I was able to walk off the lot with a brand new car, no down payment. And I walked off the lot that day. And so after that, I'm like, okay, so my credit that good. So I started applying to more credit cards, and then I kind of got a little out of hand, and I had more credit cards than what I needed. And so then I had to come back and, you know, start fixing my credit again and start learning. And so then this time I decided to really learn about credit. So I really like delved deep into the whole credit system, and I found out things that I never knew. I found out things were on my credit report that I didn't even know were on my credit report. And so I was eventually able to get these items removed off my credit. And I started developing some really good habits, and I was able to get my credit score up. And my credit score is around a 740, which, you know, I'm aiming for 800, but I started off not being able to get approved for anything. And so then I have another story when I went to apply for a house. So maybe a year ago, I applied for a house. And, you know, my rates are really high. They were like, we can get you approved, but your rates are going to be super high. So I'm like, no, I don't really want that. So then I go back, and then a year later, after I work through my credit some more, it's a process. It's a constant process that you continue to go throughout your entire life. And so I was able to get my credit score up again. And then I was able to get approved for a house at an interest rate that was unbelievable. When they told me my interest rate was 2.5%. And I could not believe it. The same interest rate that was 3.5% when I had applied before was now down to 2.5%. And I was able to get approved for more of a house. And so I was, you know, satisfied with that from just fixing my credit and the results that I got from learning about credit and going through the process. So I have a little presentation for you guys to just explain the process of credit repair and just explain credit to you so that you can better understand the steps that need to be taken to fix your credit. So let's talk credit. I'm not going to ask you your credit score, but so I am a credit specialist, and then you can find my contact information on that slide. So take a picture of this slide right now. We're on social media. My website is listed right here. So go ahead and grab that information now, and then I'm going to educate you on how to fix your credit. So what is a credit report? So a credit report is a document that collects personal information such as your name, address, public records, credit inquiries, and account history. And so the big deal right here is, on average, 79% of Americans have inaccuracies reported on their credit report. So it's so important to get that credit report. You are entitled to a free credit report each year from annualcreditreport.com, and get that every year. Put it on your calendar when it's time for you to get that credit report every single year so that you can keep track of what is on your credit report. And it's important to know that a credit report and a credit score are two different things. And so a credit score is a number. So, and this number is what lenders use to determine the likelihood that you will repay the money back that you borrow. So, you know, the lowest can be a 300, and it can range all the way up to 850. And then a credit bureau. So a credit bureau is the company or the place that collects and maintains your credit information. So those are the main ones that most lenders use are Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. And so those are the three major credit bureaus. There's lots of credit bureaus out there, but those are the three major ones. And then there's two types of credit scoring models, the FICO and the Vantage score. So the Vantage score is the one that, you know, Credit Karma uses. But then the FICO score is what 90% of lenders use. So you really want to focus on that FICO score. So any credit monitoring system, you want to make sure that you're using, that they use a FICO score, because that's really important. Sometimes your Vantage score will look a lot higher than what your FICO score is. So then we have our credit ranges. So, you know, 300 to 499 is it's bad, very bad. 500 to 579 is bad. 580 to 616 is poor. And then we have a 620 to 679, which is fair. And then so on, we have good, 680 to 699, and then 700 to 799 is very good. And then we have excellent. So you guys did, before we got started, you said what score you thought was a good credit score. So that shows you right there what is a good credit score. But we're all aiming for 800 plus. That should be the goal always. That's my goal. And I'm going to get there. So, all right. So how is your credit score calculated? So this is really, really important. So payment history, that is the biggest thing. Like on my credit, I have 100% on-time payments, and that is an important thing. So 35% of your FICO score is calculated by your payment history. Your credit usage is 30%. So the percent of credit that you have available. So you might have good credit and you might get approved for all these credit cards, but if your credit usage, if you're using your whole limit, then it does not do you any good. Your length of credit is 15%. So how long have you had these accounts? It's really important not to close accounts that you've had for so long, even though you don't use them. But that length of credit can impact your credit score. So you kind of want to keep those cards. Your account type and your credit mix is worth 10%. So what kind of accounts do you have on your credit report? Do you have revolving accounts? Do you have installment payments, mortgage accounts? They want to see that you can handle a wide range of credit types. And then new credit inquiries. So then that's 10% of your credit score. So how many times have you applied for credit in the last 24 months? How many new accounts have you had in the last 24 months? So those are important things to make sure you're paying your bills on time, that you're, managing your credit. And then also you have a wide range of credit so that those lenders know that you are responsible with multiple different types of accounts. All right, so how credit can impact you. So here we have a brand new Toyota Camry, $23,000, and the loan term is a 66-month term. And so we have person A, they have a credit score of a 730, and then we have person B, a credit score of a 599. So we already know right here who's going to get the better rates, person A or person B, based on credit score. Go ahead and type it in the chat box. Who's going to get the better rate? All right, so we know that person A is definitely going to get the better rates because of the credit score. So I want to be person A because I want the best rates. So the interest rate, you can see on here, is 1.99% for person A. And then you can see that the payment. So the payment for person A is $360. And then at the end of the loan term, person B pays $9,616 more than person A just because of their credit score. So we can see that the interest rate is extremely higher. The interest rate for person B is 14.99%. And that is it's way more than person A. So it's important to, to pay your bills on time so that you can have this amazing credit score like person A, so that you can get better rates on vehicles. The same thing applies with the house. So this is the same thing. So you can use this model for pretty much anything. All right, so how to improve your credit score. So now we're going to talk the good stuff. So step number one is check your credit score often. So go ahead and get a credit monitoring system, and check your credit score. 2, dispute any errors on your credit report. So I'm going to say that one again, dispute any errors on your credit report. So in order to dispute any errors, you have to get your credit report. So get your credit report. That's step 1. So when we get off this call, I want everyone to go to annualcreditreport.com and get your credit report. So disputing errors. So like I said, when I was going through the process of fixing my credit, I had to dispute errors. So I sent, I looked at my credit report and I saw things that I did not think were on my credit report. Like we said earlier, 79% of Americans have inaccuracies on your credit report. And so even some of the negative items on your credit report, you might think, hey, I don't know if I remember that. Or you might say, hey, I remember that, but that amount is wrong. So if the amount is wrong, that means it shouldn't be on your credit report. It's inaccurate. So even if the debt belongs to you and there's one number that might be wrong, the address might be wrong, or anything, then it should be removed from your credit report. I've seen credit reports that have different dates listed for every credit bureau. That's inaccurate. So which one is really the date? And so moving on to 3. So set up payment reminders and auto pay. So that's really important to make sure that you're paying those bills on time. Number 4 is limit hard inquiries. Number 5 is get your credit usage under 30%. But I like to tell people to keep it under 10%. I keep mine under 10%. I don't even want to get there to that 30% point. I want to keep it under 10. Check your credit report and watch for fraud. That's why it's so important to check your credit score and check your credit report, because you never know who's going to use your, who gets a hold of your social security number and uses your credit. And then don't close old accounts. So like we said, the length of credit history is really important. So if you have an old account that you were paying your bills on time and all that kind of stuff, you don't want that removed from your credit report. So you don't want to close that card. You want to keep that so that you can keep that length of credit history on your card. All right, so now is the time when we really talk about disputing errors. So there are laws that protect you. And we have 2 credit laws that protect us. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So this tells you that you are entitled to dispute anything, any inaccurate information on your credit report. So you can dispute it, and then it says, hey, if they can't prove this in 30 days that this debt is yours, then they must remove it. If they can't prove that this information is accurate within 30 days, it has to be removed. And then the next credit law is the Fair Debt Collection Act. And so this is saying that this is for collection companies. So this is going to protect you because the collection companies can only collect on that debt for a certain amount of years. After that time is up, and it's different for every state, but after that time is up, they can't collect that from you anymore. They also cannot threaten you. There are certain ways that they must talk to you. And they can't manipulate you. They can't call you all types of night. So there are laws that protect you from these collection companies. They like to play games, and they know how to get you. So like I like to tell people, if there's a collection company calling you, you tell them that you don't discuss your personal finances with someone you do not know, and you've never done business with them. You tell them straight up, you're going to force them to send you something in the mail, because we're not going to talk to these people over the phone. You're protected. All right, so a little bit about me and what I do. So you have rights, and I know how to use those rights to your benefit. And so the law gives you the right to dispute any item on your credit report. So dispute everything. That's what I like to say. Dispute anything on your credit report. Any negative item, we want to dispute it. If the items cannot be verified, they must be removed. So if they can't prove it, remove it. And then so we create letters and send them to the credit bureaus and the creditors to challenge the items, the negative items that are on your credit report. And so then we will use these to guide. We'll also guide you to help you make better decisions with your credit. And then once we get your credit score to the point that you want it, we want to maintain it and keep it there. So that is what we do in a nutshell. And then here are some resources for you. So my company's name is the first one. The Real Money Coach Credit Repair is the first resource that you see on here. And we give free credit consultations. So we can pull your credit and then let you know what's on there. And then we can work to start getting that stuff removed off your credit. Then we have Credit Karma and then annualcreditreport.com. So these are free. Then we have credit builders. So we have Experian, Rental Karma, and Self. So those are some apps that are some, resources that you can use to help build your credit. If you're renting, Rental Karma is great. They can put your rental history on your credit report. And so you're basically getting, those point boosters for things that you're already paying. So you're already paying rent. So why not add it to your credit report and boost your score? And then we have questions. So if you have any questions for me in the chat box, go ahead and post them and I would love to answer those. We have time to answer some questions. So closing accounts. What if you have a department card that you haven't used in a while and they notify you that they'll close it if you don't purchase something? Should you just buy something? Yes, just buy something and then pay it off. You don't want that card to close if you've had it for a while and it has some positive payment history. All right, number 4, limit hard inquiries. Can you detail the difference between inquiries and what types? So a hard inquiry is anything that is, it's when you apply for a new line of credit. So anything. So for example, if you apply for a credit card or you apply for a loan, that's going to be a hard inquiry. If you are applying for insurance, they're going to pull your credit report and your credit score, but that's a soft inquiry. So it will not be a hard hit. So the hard inquiries are a line of credit. So think of it if you're applying for any type of line of credit. How long does it take to typically get and see results from the credit repair process? So you don't know. It could take, as simple as 1 month to 12 months. It just depends. There can be multiple rounds that you have to go through. So the first thing you just want to, you want to challenge everything first and you want to verify it. So then if they can verify it, then, you go to the next step. So it just depends on what is on your credit. And then it depends on, how easy it is to get it removed. And there is my info again. And continue to ask your questions because I would love to answer them. How do you charge for your services? So your your free credit consultation is the first step, and that is free, like I said. And then after that, I charge a startup fee, and then you have a monthly fee that you pay until you see the results that you would like to see. Any other questions? No other questions? Marlon, if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask me, also to kind of get the audience talking.
Mic is muted. I love what you said. What was that you had, like a little one-liner? If you can't prove it.
If you can't prove it, remove it. We got to add a little bit of sass there.
Oh, I like that. I like that, girl. If you can't prove it, remove it. Oh my God, that's bringing me back to a famous attorney who had a little rhyme. Okay? But I like it. I like it. So yeah, no, I just think that this is really wonderful, and I appreciate the questions. For all of our viewers, I think that the thing is that, as you can see, Adrian's very, very focused. When I had my consultation with her, she was sharing some things, with the discrepancies. I mean, really, think about the millions of people, there's going to be human error. And, and then she helped me understand if there's just one thing that's different, that's off, they have to remove it. So again, and then she's got some strategies for, I'm not going to share all of her strategies, but I definitely encourage you, go ahead and get your complimentary consult. It doesn't hurt, right? I mean, just have her at least share some things with you. And there's her contact details as well, because as we all identify, your credit score, it does impact your life, really. And, what I would encourage you also do is, please, feel free to let your family, your friends know, because again, one of the things about this whole wealth building program is that we are bringing information to you so that you can no longer say, man, if I only knew better. Now we are saying, no, you have resources, right? And that's the power. And so we wanted to really bring an expert tonight to share, some information with you. So, this has been great.
I just wanted to mention too, remind everyone that this does start on page 58 of your book. Of your playbook. We do address the credit, how to read a credit report, because one of the things Adrian suggested, and really it's to go ahead and get your credit report. Go ahead and go to freecreditreport.com, get your credit report. Now, one of the things is that because of COVID-19 and the CARES Act, you actually can get a free credit report every week if you want it. So there's no reason for you not to go get your credit report. You can look at it. We got a whole ledger on page 61 that will help you read the credit report. But I want to go back and we can bring Adrian on. There's a couple questions I think we ought to talk about. And one of them is someone asked about student loans. So the question was, is there a time frame for student loans to be removed? But I think student loans is a whole nother issue. So kind of speak to student loans, speak to that.
So student loans, they're kind of tough because that is the government. There are some times where student loans can be removed, and that would be if there was like an inaccuracy. So like if it was being reported twice or the amount was reported wrong, but technically those student loans can stay on your credit report.
And how long typically does something stay on your credit report before it falls off on its own? How long should
like inquiries are different, but technically most things stay on your credit report for 7 years.
Okay.
That's pretty much across the board for most things.
And then I think the other thing someone asked is medical bills. Because I know we see a lot of medical bills. So talk to us a little bit about medical bills and HIPAA and how does that piece work?
So medical bills do hurt your credit score, but they should not be listed on your credit report. And so a lot of times the collection companies get your medical bills and they try to collect on that debt, which is actually a violation of HIPAA because your medical information should not be sent to anyone. Any third party. And so you can kind of dispute that based on that. So usually medical bills are easy to get removed. They're probably the easiest because you can use that HIPAA to get those removed.
And Yolanda's asking a question. I think when we've been doing these classes and it's always comes up, why is there a disparity between the three credit bureaus? You got Experian, TransUnion, and then you got Equifax. So, and they all three could be different. Why are they so different?
They're just different based on the information that they're getting. So these credit bureaus, they get information from different places too. So that's why you can see like disparity against like between the 3 different credit bureaus is because that they're getting the information from different places, and then they just, I mean, it's just inaccurate. So they're reporting, it's millions of people that they're reporting, and so they're putting in these numbers really quick. There's going to be error.
All right. So, and then I think you kind of talked a little bit about this in terms of negative items being on your credit report. Typically, is it 7 years?
Yeah, typically 7 years.
And what about major things like tax liens, bankruptcies? What about those types of things?
So bankruptcies, they are difficult. They're not kind of difficult. They are difficult to get removed. But there are strategies to get, try to get the bankruptcies removed. Or sometimes they might be reporting that you might have a charge or collection that was discharged in bankruptcy that is also being collected on, that's outdated. And there's different things like that. So when you look at a bankruptcy, you really have to look at that paperwork and really dig deep inside of that bankruptcy to try to find things to remove it. And then also a lot of times the court does not report to these credit bureaus. So they're getting the information from somewhere. So then sometimes it's about digging deep and finding out where they're getting this information from. So you might, there's things that you can do, like contact the court and find out, hey, did you report this bankruptcy to the credit bureau? A lot of times they're going to say no, that they didn't. So then you have to find out who's reporting. So people sell information to the credit bureaus because that's how they make money. The same thing with these collection companies. That's how they make money. They buy your debt for a $1, and then they try to get that debt. They try to get that money. So that's how they're making money. And
let's unpack that. So here you have a debt collector, and the debt collector has bought the debt. Let's just say from let's just Sears. Okay, I started a Sears card. That was my first card. Let's say the debt collector bought the debt from Sears for 10% of whatever was owed. And then if Sears is still reporting it, is that okay?
No. And a lot of times that's the other thing. You have to find out if these collection companies are legit. So they call you and try to get this money. You don't know if they're legit. When they're reporting on your credit report, you don't know if they're legit. So that's the one thing that we want to know. So I want to know, as a credit specialist, where is the contract that shows that you are the person that should be collecting this debt? What was exchanged between the creditor and then the collection company, so that so there should be, so once the collection company takes over, that creditor should not still be collecting on that debt.
Okay, so should they not be reporting it anymore?
So it shouldn't be a collection company and the creditor on your credit report. It's one or the other.
Okay. Wow. It's great information, everybody. Take advantage of it. Here we are. If you have more questions, put them in the chat box, because we understand that credit is so important in so many aspects of our life, right? And we talked about it earlier. We talked about insurance. We talked about your car insurance. You're talking about getting a job. You're talking about so many different areas, and it can save you a whole lot of money just by getting your credit fixed, by having your credit score in the right place. And so it's very, very important. And as we talk about building wealth and building legacy wealth, and if we're talking about financial wellness, where we're going to leave something for the next generation. And if we are spending so much of our money unnecessarily because we're paying a higher car payment, we're paying a higher house note, we have all this unsecured debt, everything from payday loans to whatever it may be, it really will hurt us in terms of how we're going to have excess cash, how we're going to have disposable cash that we can put into a program that create generational wealth and multiple multiple streams of income. So now we had a question. How long does a car repo stay your credit? When a snatch man shows up in your driveway, take your car, how long does that stay on your credit report?
So that's going to be on there for 7 years too. But then there are some things that you can do to try to get that removed. Those are also hard. So bankruptcy and car repos are the hardest to get removed off your credit report. But there are strategies, and then you can always look for inaccuracies, with that car repo.
All right. And so someone's asking one more time, the offer tonight for the free consultation. Tell us one more time. What is that?
So I'm offering a free credit consultation. So you'll schedule with me. You'll call me, contact me. It's best to go to my website. And then I will give you that free credit consultation. And then we'll look at your credit report. And I'll show you the negative items that are on your credit report. And then we can look at possibly my services and how I can help you dispute those negative items on your credit report. So It is free.
It's free. So the price is right. Free consultation. Just come and get the free, know what you got.
Yes, know what's on your credit report.
And Maria says, once it's in collections, who should you be paying? Should you be paying the creditor, or should you be paying the collection agency?
All right. So first, once something goes into collections, don't jump the gun and pay it, because you want to validate it first. You want to know that the collection company went through the right steps to get that debt first. So a lot of times when these credit collection companies get your debt, they're not getting the proper paperwork and all that kind of stuff to, actually own the debt. So first you want to validate that. So you don't want to pay. And so the other thing is, like I said, these companies can only collect on a debt for so long. So then if you pay that debt, so before you find out and verify that debt, and if you just jump the gun and start paying it, then your statute of limitation starts from your last payment. So then that's going to push back when this item can be removed off your credit report. That's going to push back. So then that's going to open it up. So now if something, say it was 2016, and that was your last payment. And so they can only say that they can only collect the debt for 3 years. Now, since you in 2020, you decide to make a payment on that, now you just opened it up. So you just opened it up for them to start collecting on that debt again by making that payment. So you want to validate it first. So I would not, pay these collection agencies. And then if there was a situation where you feel like you need to pay the collection agency, then, hey, you're going to do a pay for delete. So you're going to offer them a portion. You're not going to offer them the whole debt. You're going to offer them a portion of the debt. And we're never going to do that over the phone or anything. You're going to do that in writing. You want all that in writing. And we're going to say, hey, I'm going to pay a portion of that, but you must delete it off my credit report. And it must be in writing.
Wow. And then someone had asked, Michelle asked, if you got the car back from repo, is that reported? So I imagine what we're saying is that the car went into repossession. You were able to come up with the money you needed to get it out of repossession, so you still have possession of the car. How is that treated?
The repo will still be listed on your credit report.
Wow. Good. Okay. So then again, it could go through the dispute process. And I love what Ms. Thompson is saying here is that look for ways to save money. She talked on here about she saved some money on her car insurance. She saved money. She refinanced, saved $40 a month on her monthly car note. And those are all the type of things that we talked about even in our budgeting class, is just looking for those ways to save money, looking for ways to cut your expenses back. And, one of the things I think is, as Adrian is talking about the credit side and getting your credit report and your credit score where it needs to be, then you can go back and revisit some of those things. So if your credit is tore up from the floor up, but then you get it fixed And now you go back to the insurance company and say, hey, I want you to rerun my rates because my credit is better. You go back to some of these places where you're paying more than you should be and say, hey, listen, my credit is fixed. Shop it around, because a lot of us, and you may find this, some people are afraid to look at their credit report because you think your credit is really bad. When you get it, it really may not be as bad as you thought. And then I love what she said, hey, I took the money that I saved and I use it to pay off some debt, right? And we taught you 2 ways to pay off your debt: the snowball method and the avalanche method. So go back and look at those. Go back to week number last week, I believe it was last week, and talk about loans and debts and the 2 methods of paying off the debt. Because as we look at paying off our debt, we're looking for extra money anywhere we can find it. And some of that is going through your budget. Some of that could be getting your credit repaired. And I believe this. I believe that what it costs you to get your credit repaired is well worth the money it's going to save you in the long run. Now, can you imagine that? The example Adrian showed, I think it was a Camry. 2 people buying the same Camry, paying the same price for it, sticker-wise. But because one had a over 700 score, the other one was $599. The difference, $9,000 over the life of that loan. And here's the thing about it. If you don't get your credit fixed while you're in that car, by the time you get done paying for it, it's time to go get another one, you're going to go right back into the same situation. And so it kind of perpetuates itself. So you want to make sure that you go out and you do some of the things that we're telling you. Make sure that you go to your playbook, go through those different lessons, and make sure that you do these things like ordering your credit report, know how to look at it. Take advantage of the free credit analysis. Do those things. You know, next week we're going to open it up and start offering you a free consultation, you know, on your finances, and take advantage of this, because that's why we're doing this. We're doing this because we just want to be a blessing. We want to help you in every way that we can. And so just take advantage. I can't urge you enough. I was surprised a couple times on my credit. And I'll be honest with you, I got this notice. Man, this was, I moved to Charlotte 6 years ago, and I get my credit report, and the utility company in Michigan hits my credit. And I'm like, I didn't even live in Michigan at that address anymore. And so I had to dispute it. And get it fixed. And then my credit went back up. And so you want to make sure that you're paying paying attention to your credit, monitoring it. And I know there's so many different apps. Adrian talks about Credit Karma, and there's others that you can do, and actually, you know, monitoring your credit. I think Adrian told me that she checks her credit every single day. Man, I'm not checking mine every day, but I'm telling you, I can see why it would be important, because things could come up. And the one thing that we didn't address is identity theft. If you want to talk about something that can ruin your credit really fast, and that's someone else getting a hold of your identity and charging things on your credit card, using your debit card, using your bank card, and all those type of things. So you want to make sure that you're aware. So you need to be watching. You need to be doing those things. So Allison asked, Adrian, if you lose a dispute, would your credit go down? Will it have a negative impact if you lose a dispute?
No, the worst it can do is stay the same. So why not dispute?
Okay. So it can't hurt you to dispute.
It can't hurt you to dispute.
So,
but you know, if you
they can't prove it,
remove it.
Right. So, you know, I think that's good. All right. So here, James put a little comment. We appreciate that. James said, after our last class, he switched from the snowball method to the avalanche method. Will allow him to pay his debt off 1.5 months earlier. Okay, I don't know if it's 1 month, 1.5, but anyway, he made the switch, and now he's on a trajectory to pay his debts off even sooner. So love it. Thank you for sharing that with us. So Marlon, here we go. We had another great show, and we got some valuable information out to the BCG family. And man, I know that they're probably, I imagine they appreciate the information. I know I appreciate it when I hear it about the whole credit situation and how to fix. And again, you know, we just want to encourage everybody to hit us up at info@The Real Money Coach. And you can also email Adrian at Adrian@The Real Money Coach if you didn't get her contact information.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, thank you. And so I'd love for you to right now in the chat box, go ahead and type in the chat box, what's your takeaway from today? I mean, one, we said, hey, everyone should go ahead and get their credit report. I think that's an action item that all of us, it's free with COVID-19. As you heard Tony say, you can get them, you know, once every week if you like. But to me, I think go ahead and get it. You know, don't be afraid. You know, let's go ahead and just, you know, do our due diligence, see if everything's correct. Number two, I would say go ahead and, you know, Adrian at therealmoneycoach.com, you know, send her an email. Say you'd like to schedule a complimentary, you know, session. You know, what we're doing is, you know, as Tony said, we have the workbook, you know, the TRMC workbook. And I think it was one of the young ladies, you know, said that she wasn't sure where to get the book. I think it was Sylvia. And so I typed in the chat box, you know, Sylvia, you can just send an email to info@therealmoneycoach.com. And that goes for anyone else. You know, if you want to get the TRMC playbook, you know, that's kind of like our workbook that it has all the information and it's phenomenal. You know, go ahead and send us an email. And so again, you know, we're very excited because I can see in the enthusiasm of the chat box, the questions, the level of engagement. And that's what we're striving to do, is bring relevant information that really makes a difference, that truly makes a difference. So, you know, again, I'm very grateful all of you are here. Looks like, oh, wow, this is the, okay, thank you for that. Thank you. I mean, everyone's, oh man, looking forward to working with Adrian. I love that I can demand the collection. Agencies have to put it in writing and send it to me. Awesome. This is the best time to take our finances to the next level. Oh my goodness, that's great. God bless you all. Thank you so much for all those comments. And so in closing, just want to say thank you. And, you know, again, as Tony said, you know, action is the name of the game. You know, it's one thing to talk the good talk, but it's another thing to walk the talk. And so tonight's particular episode was really very hard-hitting, very focused into, you know, what we can do. So already Sylvia's already sent an email to Adrian. I love it. I love it. And I, you know, Allison said, looking forward to working with her. Wow, this is great. Shelly said, once we have worked on our credit, we can have our interest rates, insurance rates reevaluated. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, this is real talk, right? And this has a very significant impact. You know, somebody said earlier about livelihood. So that's real. Demetria said, wherever we are, no matter what our FICO score, financial portfolio looks like, this is the time to take our legacy to the next level. 100%, 100%, right? Because what we do today will dictate where we'll be tomorrow. And thanks, Marie. Marie said, thank you for the great information, Adrian. Wow. And then Yolanda said, glad to know I should not close old accounts. See what I'm saying? I mean, that's the power. And that's what, you know, I'm telling you, next week, for these next 4 weeks, you know, I really asked Tony to really, let's go deep. This is where people they want real life information. You've got your workbook, but we're going to be bringing you some new content like we did today that's not in your workbook next Tuesday and for the last 4 sessions. So you want to be here, definitely want to be here. And for those of you that have family and friends, you know, when you get the recap email with the video, you know, and the activity assignment, again, you know, feel free. You can share that with your family and friends, because as Tony said, we're about making a positive difference. And so with that being shared, I'd like to just say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here. You know, this has been a phenomenal show. And, you know, as Adrian, you can see her passion, you know, it's one thing about the young folks, right? They got a lot of energy. There was a day when, you know, Tony and I had that same energy, but, you know, we're not there like we used to be. And so, you know, one of the things I want you to understand is that your best is yet to come, okay? And so with that being shared, remember, a vision without action is just a dream. A lot of action without a vision is merely a passing of time. But a vision with action can change the world. I am Marlon Smith in partnership with Tony Jackson and Chris Jackson and Adrian Jackson. You know, we're almost like the Jackson 5. You know, I guess I needed to be named Marlon Jackson. Come on, somebody. All right. I could have been part of the group. You know, I can sing, y'all. I can sing. I'm telling you. And that's my little son right here, you know, trying to be all, you know, incognito. But, you know, this is live TV. It's a family affair. So we say thank you. We'll see you next Tuesday. Remember to email us your homework assignment so that we can share feedback and just can continue being a blessing. God bless everybody. See you next Tuesday.